Students, welcome to the Augustana campus of the University of Alberta and to the 2020-21 academic year. I would like to begin by acknowledging that the Augustana campus of the University of Alberta is located at Treaty 6 territory. Thanks to COVID-19, the 2019-2020 academic year turned out to be remarkable and memorable, especially for the unpredictability and uncertainty created by the pandemic. In March of last year, Canadian universities, including the University of Alberta, transitioned almost overnight to online and blended learning. COVID-19 presented and continues to present many challenges. As the Dean of the Faculty of Augustana, I have been aware from the very first day of the pandemic, aware of the fact that I'm surrounded by gifted and dedicated faculty, staff, students, and alumni who have continued to perform admirably under difficult circumstances. I'm confident that the fall term and the entire 2020-2021 academic year will be equally challenging, but also prove equally successful as the previous year. Why are we not going back to the classrooms and face-to-face instruction and experiences? It is because the University of Alberta takes the health and well-being of everyone, including you, the students, very seriously. And so, whether you're physically present at the Augustana campus and the Camrose community, or whether you're elsewhere in Alberta, in Canada, or the rest of the globe, I wish to remind you that we must continue to rely on each other to maintain our communities healthy by taking simple actions such as physical distancing, wearing face coverings, frequent hand washing, staying put when not feeling well, and covering coughs and sneezes. We ended the academic year in late April this past spring with a virtual graduation ceremony. And since COVID-19 is still in our midst, we're beginning this year, which promises to be remarkable, unprecedented, unforgettable once again with this virtual commencement ceremony. For the fall term, we'll proceed with mostly online and remote instruction, but also with some in-person learning opportunities. Of course, you know all this since I imagine that you're listening to me remotely from places, as suggested earlier, in Augustana and Camrose across Alberta, across Canada, and in several instances across the globe. Despite the fact that most of our instruction and interactions this term will be remote, I would encourage you to participate in all activities that the academic, student services, and Augustana Student Association have worked hard to prepare so that the famed Augustana community spirit perseveres and flowers. Let me now turn to my main point for today's commencement message. Established in 1910 by Norwegian settlers, Camrose Lutheran College, Augustana's predecessor, became a university degree-granting institution in 1985. Its current name dates from 1991, Augustana being a reference to Confessio Augustana, the Lutheran Confession of Faith, dating from 1630. Augustana reflects a tradition of excellence that goes back to its very founding. While valuing diversity, inclusivity, and freedom of expression, Augustana continues to maintain a close connection with its origins by championing the ideals of liberal education in the arts and sciences, including the goal of achieving personal wholeness, being of service to others as an act of leadership, and promoting a spirit of cooperation among all students, faculty, and staff. Augustana became part of the University of Alberta in 2004 and now holds a distinctive place within the entire university. This place is defined in For the Public Good, the most recent University of Alberta strategic plan, as, quote, a living laboratory for teaching and learning innovation to the benefit of the entire university, end of quote. Augustana is a leader in community service learning, international study, and experiential learning opportunities and undergraduate research. Augustana's academic calendar is indeed a living, evolving, innovative laboratory for teaching and learning that includes the Augustana calendar and first-year seminar program and the 3+11 academic calendar, along with several other curricular innovations. Augustana's mission calls for students, faculty, and staff to work together so that you, the students, may have an opportunity to discover your calling and build the foundation for a successful life, a satisfying career, and engaged citizenship. Occasions such as this call for the Dean to offer some suggestions and advice to first-year students. I have decided to take advantage of this opportunity afforded to me, but within limits. And thus, I wish to make 3 brief points today, 2 simple ones, and a third that may be a bit more nuanced. First, and especially given our electronic age with all its distractions and interruptions, a situation that the pandemic has forced us to feel even more acutely, make sure that as you begin your classes, that you find what I would ask you to call your place of power, your very own space where nobody else is allowed to enter and remain but you. Your place of power should be that space, both physical and intellectual, where you do all your careful reading, deep thinking, and learning, where you can reflect on class and reading material, and when you are left alone to enjoy the fruits of your intellectual engagement with your world of learning, your educational experiences at Augustana, what I might call, to quote a 20th century American poet, you're sailing after knowledge. Second, I have a very prosaic suggestion or advice to offer you. Remember that the rule of thumb for doing well in university is that for each hour you spend in the virtual or physical classroom or in the laboratory, you need to spend approximately 2 hours in preparation for your next class or for reviewing the previous class's materials, ideas, and concepts. Attending class unprepared cannot be productive, nor will it result in good grades. And more importantly, it will not facilitate proper learning. You'll notice that I have not said anything about attendance of classes, whether synchronous or asynchronous, something that should be taken as a given. My third point is a bit more nuanced, as I said earlier, but I only press gently its meaning upon you. I want to read a brief section from a poem by Jan Zwicky, one of my favorite Canadian poets. You can say that this poem explores the deeper meaning of life, the thirst for something beyond objective or obvious reality, the journey, be it the journey of learning or of life, but certainly a journey after knowledge and after wonder, a journey for essence, for meaning, for what the ancient Greeks called the kalon, the beautiful. This brief section of the poem is called Practicing Bach, and it's a prelude. And so here it goes. There is, said Pythagoras, a sound the planet makes, a kind of music just outside our hearing, the proportion and the resonance of things. Not the clang of theory or the weathering of human speech, not even the bright song of sex or hunger, but the unrung ringing that supports them all. Listen to the music and its sounds and its melodies as you learn. Look out for the sense of wonder, for the music of the spheres. Be prepared for the opportunity to gain a glimpse into the very nature of things, into the beauty and awe that your mind is capable of, be it in your visual arts class, in your music class, in your history class, your psychology class, your kinesiology class, your management class, but also in the laboratory or in your mathematics class or your biology class or your computer science class. Be prepared for these moments when you begin to hear a kind of music just outside our hearing, the proportion and the resonance of things, what Zwicky calls the unrung ringing. Be prepared to appreciate these moments of insight which give substance to the insubstantial and open up our ears and perception and minds to moments of transcendence and joy. Indeed, your education at Augustana can offer you such moments. Take advantage of them and learn from them, and learn to be probing and curious during your own sailing after knowledge. Wishing you a successful, challenging, and interesting and fulfilling first year at Augustana. Thank you. And now I invite you to join me outside the Performing Arts Center, where we are right now. Join me at the centenary sculpture on the quad. I will be ringing the bell, that is part of the sculpture, thereby continuing a long tradition of marking the start of the new school year and the incorporation of all new students of you into the Augustana community. Students, welcome to Augustana and the 2020-21 academic year.